Hey, what's up, rock stars? It's Rox coming to you today with the review for Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 3, Episode 11. So I believe that this was the break. I think they're about to go on a hiatus. I know they won't be on next Saturday, so I think that that's what we're doing right now. It's a hiatus going on. If you guys know that for sure, let me know, or whatever it is. You guys correct me if I'm wrong. But anyway, you guys, the review. Let's get to it, shall we? All right, you guys, so it's the last day in Vegas. Actually, they're about to leave Vegas, and it's the next morning after they had their dinner together and everybody got some things off their chest. At least that's what Marcel, and Maurice think when they're sitting together talking over breakfast, okay? But anyway, we see everybody packing. You know, Mel, she had her big floppy hat. She said she didn't get to wear it because she got to fussing and fighting. We see Leticia, she's packing up the final things. Kimmy comes in there and she was just checking on Kimmy. Hey, I was just seeing if you're okay. And Leticia says, yeah, she's fine. You know, and Kimmy says, I know you really wanted to do the vow thing yesterday. You know, she was sorry that Marcel wasn't with it. And Leticia says, well, you know, the past 3 years have been very wonky. Like, we've been going through a lot. And I said, the past 3 years you've been on this show. I'm telling you, this show is really doing a number on their marriage, but y'all just keep wanting to say something else. But anyway, that's why Leticia wants to go to therapy, because she feels like they have shit that they need to work through, which they definitely need to. She kind of starts crying because she says that it's a lot of things that she needs to be able to get past and move on from, and she's not able to do that. And Marcel's not been the most helpful getting through it either. She realizes that Marcel, there's just certain things that he's just not going to be there to help her get through. And Kimmy says that she knows the feeling, because being married to a Scot, that's just kind of one of the benefits or the downfalls of being married to a Scot, is the fact that they kind of do what they need to do first for themselves, and then everybody else kind of comes as a second, third, fourth, fifth. So Kimmy has complained with Maurice about that. And we know that Leticia has the same complaints for Marcel, maybe on a different kind of scale because they have kids together and little kids and, you know, things like that. But they can relate on that. So because they can't necessarily rely on their husbands, then Kimmy and Leticia, you know, decide that maybe they need to be there for each other. As sister-in-laws, they have to make sure that them two gonna be cool forever, no matter what goes on, you know, so they agree on that. And Leticia's happy. You know, she said that even though the trip was weird for her and Marcel, okay, not exactly played out the way that she wanted it to, that it definitely seems to be better for her and Kimmy. So I guess for that, she's thankful. So then we see Tiffany and Louis in their room, and they're talking, you guys. I'm telling you, when they come on the screen, I just almost shut them out. But Tiffany is telling Louis how Destiny pulled her to the side and said that, you know, we just can't seem to get it together. Let's leave the bullshit in Vegas. Let's go back to Huntsville. Let's kind of get together, see if we can do a spa day, maybe get our nails done, maybe go out for drinks. You know, maybe we could just, you and I can try to start over, get to know each other better. And so Tiffany said that she was looking forward to doing something like that. She said that she can commit to something like that. I said, okay, well, let's see. I guess this is the rebuilding of Tiffany. They're going to come back from this hiatus and she's going to be a totally different person. I thought it was going to be the next season, but maybe it's going to be the next, you know, the next 10, 11 weeks. Martel and Marcel and Maurice had a pretty interesting conversation talking about Marcel's depression. You know, he had announced the night before that he had depression for the last year. Maybe he didn't even realize that he was depressed, and, you know, it kind of came up in that conversation, but you know, sometimes depression it just be so much a part of your life that you don't even realize that you are depressed until you like smack dab in the middle of it. Marcel was talking about him never being able to enjoy himself, you know, even though they were going on and on about being high achievers. But I was just like, okay, I'm just going, let me just go with the conversation, you know. But, you know, there's something about having a goal in mind, or, you know, just something that you want to achieve and you can never turn yourself off from it. You know, he was talking about how he just works and works and works and works and works. And even when he's not at work, he can't enjoy himself because he's worrying about what he's not doing over here because he's over here doing that. And, you know, I don't consider myself no high achiever or anything, but I do know that, you know, even when it just comes to this YouTube channel, I'm always, and I think most YouTubers who are committed to their channel will tell you the same thing. You are always thinking about your channel. It is so difficult, especially when it becomes kind of like a business and, you know, this is like an income that you're relying on and things like that. It is so difficult to turn off the YouTube flick because you know that anytime that you're not on YouTube, you're not making any money. Okay. And that's why, you know, people want to stick to a schedule because they've incorporated it and really truly into their life. So they can't enjoy, you know, unless I tell myself, like, I just know I'm not doing it. You know, I've already made, you know, did videos different days and now I'm going to be off for a few days. Unless I tell myself that, it's hard. It's hard. You stressed out, you thinking about it, you know, what you might say, you know, you ain't watched a show. It's hard to turn that shit off. So I can imagine on a way larger scale when you're trying to do something like being a contractor and trying to get all these bids and, you know, all of these things that are on you. And then you're probably a person that doesn't like to give control to anybody else. So you feel like you've got to be 10, 12 different places, you know, and so Marcel just never can enjoy himself. So that also means that he probably wouldn't enjoy himself with Leticia, definitely wouldn't enjoy himself with Leticia and the kids. You know, it's all about having this unbalanced lifestyle, you know, and how he needs to work on being able to balance both of his work and his, you know, his career, his work, and then with his family life. Because I'm telling you, he gonna look up and it's gonna be, them kids gonna be grown and they gonna feel a certain kind of way about you not being around. And, you know, these things, you know, like my grandmother say, keep on living, right? Because you don't realize it until your kids are grown. And then they come back and tell you like they feel, you know, hurt or upset because you just weren't around and you thinking to yourself, I wasn't around because I was working hard to provide for you, but you losing time. So anyways, Marcel and them, you know, having a conversation, he appreciates the conversation, you know, thankful that they even sat around to talk about it. Because it's a real thing. And I think all of them feel like they can relate to that in some kind of way. Melody said that this trip to Vegas really was not, it wasn't really ideal for her.
Overall, this trip to Vegas was a disaster for me. Was it worth my peace being disturbed? No. Not at all.
Mel ain't trying to be around Marcel, you know, a number of days. Like I told you guys, it was way too early for them to be trying to do something like that. But like I said, it's time to go. So everybody got their shit packed up. Everybody comes out their rooms. Everybody rolling their bags, you know. It's been real Vegas. Okay, deuces. Everybody leaves the house and heads on back to Huntsville. So once back in Huntsville, Mel is at her office and she has Tiffany come down because she needs her help. Remember, they still got shit that they working on together. Tiffany says we have business that just really can't wait any longer. So she goes inside and Mel tells her,
you know, me and Marcel, we got into it one time on social media. So in my comments, someone said that I needed to get off social media and deal with it. And right then I got a message and it said, God said go.
So now they have merchandise. So why she needs Tiffany is because she needs the interns that Tiffany has access to at these HBCUs to come in and help. So she needs a few interns to come in so they can process these orders. But anyway, while they're sitting there talking, they're talking about Vegas, and Tiffany says how, you know, Vegas just kind of threw her energy off a little bit. And Mel was just like, yeah, she apologizes on Destiny's behalf.
When she said she was going to drag you, I was shocked. I was shocked to hear that. That was the first time that I ever heard her threaten to drag anybody.
So she tells her that Destiny, you know, because of the divorce and everything that's happened, you know, she's going through some things and she's probably taking it out on the wrong person. I said, Melody, you gonna stop this shit. Destiny is not taking it out on anybody. She's dealing with her divorce, however she's dealing with it, and she's dealing with Tiffany the way that Tiffany needs to be dealt with. Tiffany tells her how they had a sidebar conversation, and Destiny said that, you know, maybe they can try to hook up in Huntsville and see if they can work on a friendship, even though Destiny told us that Tiffany still gets on her nerves. So we're going to see how that plays out. They don't seem like they have personalities that will gel. But Tiffany kind of made it seem like Destiny might have made her feel a little sorry. But I was just like, child, I don't know. I still don't trust Tiffany. Everything that she does seems like she has an ulterior motive. Like if she's going to use it in some kind of way, flip it around and make the other person look like they was doing something that they wasn't. So I'm still not feeling Tiffany. But I mean, her and Destiny can work on this friendship, I guess. Now, jumping over to Marcel, we see Marcel with his son, him and Melody's son. He is about to hone this talent that he believes his son has for baseball. So I guess Lewis is a baseball coach. So Lewis has his sons at the batting cage, and Marcel and his son meet them there. So yeah, you know, we get him out there, you know, just kind of see what he has. You know, Marcel swear he got just the talent is raw in him. It just got to be, you know, we just got to focus it. You know, the little boy throwing the ball, hitting the ball on the okay, whatever. Anyways, while the boys are playing, you know, in the batting cage, Marcel and Lewis walk off to the side. Lewis is just kind of checking in on Marcel, like, you know, when we was in Vegas, I mean, you went crazy. Like, it was kind of a blackout mode. Lewis was so concerned that Marcel was so mad that if they weren't there, that things might have even progressed even further. I was just like, no, things were not going to happen. I'm sure that was very reminiscent of the many arguments that Marcel and Melody have had in that house together. I didn't see that Marcel was ever going to try to hit her, but you know, all of that histrionics that the both of them do. I could just imagine, child, you could just imagine the shit that was going on in that house. They definitely did not need to be under the same roof any longer. So Marcel tells him, though, that he does handle his anger well. I was like, no, I don't think you do handle your anger well. And Lewis doesn't think so either. Okay, especially Lewis, who ain't been around, like, you know, to know exactly how Marcel and Mel get down anyway. But Marcel says, like what I told you guys, you know, they know how to push each other's buttons. And so they piss each other off. For instance, he knows that Mel knows that he wants his children to be raised by their mother. And the fact that they are always with a babysitter, he says 70% of the time, you know, he doesn't like that. He says that Mel is a wonderful mother, but she just don't have time right now. So he's thinking about putting in, you know, a petition to get the kids full time. And Lewis was like, this was actually made me appreciate Lewis. I was like, maybe if we could just get Lewis without Tiffany, maybe we would like him better. You know, he's a damn consequence of his wife. You know, it's like, we don't like Tiffany, so fuck you too. But he was like, do you think that that's the best for the kids right now? Okay, because, you know, you hear about people when they're going through divorce, you know, they be so stuck in their own feelings. Sometimes they don't think about what's best for their children. And I think Marcel is in that space, you know. So Marcel was like, yeah, I think that would be great, you know. And he was like, well, how do you think Mel is going to handle that conversation? And Marcel was like, I don't know, you know, she might say yeah. And then Lewis looked at him. He was like, I know he wouldn't say, nigga, I don't know what planet you on right now, but I can tell you right now that she is not going to just say yes, okay. Okay, so he was just like, yeah, I don't know if she's gonna say that. All right, so he just tried to tell Marcel, listen, if you're going to have this conversation, if you insisting on doing something like this, you need to go in there with a clear head. You need to go in there. You don't need to be confrontational. You don't need to be getting into no fight, because you want this to work out in your favor, right? With the least resistance as possible. So, you know, get your mind right, get your attitude right. But, you know, Lewis really wanted to tell him, like, no, I don't think that it's too soon. Like, you guys need to settle down, you know, and get over these feelings first before y'all start talking about these kids. And the kids are fine with Mel. So, you know, Marcel says that he respects Lewis's advice because Lewis has been through this before. And that's why I said, you know, we kind of like Lewis. We would probably like Lewis, I should say, because we don't like Lewis because of Tiffany. But we might possibly have liked him had she not been around. Or are you guys just over Lewis altogether too? Y'all let me know. Now, let's jump over to the Scotts. Okay, Leticia and Marcel go out with Kimmy and Maurice. She says that, you know, Kimmy says that she wanted to invite them out and just, you know, kind of talk about Vegas. They still kind of want to get to the bottom of this whole depression thing that Marcel brought up, because they just really honestly didn't know that's what he was going through. So they sit down, you know, pleasantries, talk about Leticia looking exactly like Wanda. you know, which she does. She looks like Wanda. I mean, Leticia's a good looking girl. Wanda actually is a good looking woman as well. And, you know, Marcel was like, he just hopes that one day, you know, he never wakes up and one day look over and Wanda's, I was like, that is definitely what Leticia's gonna look like. So get ready. You know, they're out sitting out. It's raining. They're talking about the wedding, you know, and how it also rained at Maurice and Kimmy's wedding, but it, you know, it stopped just in time for them to have their nuptials. So we get through all of them conversations and then it's on to Marcel's depression. Kimmy says that she was shocked to hear something like that. And Leticia says she was shocked to hear it too, because he has never expressed that to her at all. You know, and Marcel was like, oh, it ain't no big deal. It ain't like I'm gonna do anything about it. Who actually says things like that? I was just like, what? Maurice was like, why wouldn't you do anything about it? You know, you could probably benefit from getting some professional help. Well, Marcel's whole thing is he just feels like he doesn't have enough hours in the day. You know, that he always feels like he's going from one thing to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next. You know, he doesn't necessarily want to be like that, but it's just like he's running all over, burning the candle on both ends, basically. But it's okay. He feels like he can deal with that because, like I said, it's a means to an end, and he knows what the end is, and he feels like that end would probably be in sight. So for now, he's just going to deal with it. And so Leticia was telling him, you know, that's not the best way to approach things because she had an aunt. Okay, and everybody thought the aunt was doing good and, you know, all of this. And she had a lump in her chest, didn't get it checked because she was so busy trying to run her business and doing whatever. And the next thing you know, the aunt was dead. Okay, and Leticia was just like, and that's not good for Marcel because he dealing with everything. He don't tell me nothing, you know, stressed out, evidently depressed. And what's going to happen if you drop dead one day? Okay, that's mostly going to affect me and my children, your children, our children. Well, Marcel says, you know what, he might just be tired. You know, he going to wait and see. See, because he's so busy right now, of course he's going to be tired. Now, when he gets to his end, then if he still feels that way, then he'll know that, you know, it's a more serious depression. But right now, I guess what he's saying is it's like situational depression because of what he's going through. But the whole thing is that end never, ever comes. You know, you push the goalposts out further and further because if you are, you know, said high achiever, then that means that you're always trying to get to the next. You're always trying to accomplish the next goal. So you never get to that end. And, you know, you be running yourself, like Leticia said, to death. So Leticia was like, you know, she wants to know what she can do to help him, you know, get through this. And he said, well, you can listen more. And Leticia was like, I feel like all I do is listen to him. Up until she got on this show, at least, everything that Marcel said goes. So, you know, she was just like, how he just gonna sit here and act like I don't listen to nothing he says, but when I ain't even been able to have a fucking opinion the whole time that we've been married. So she was annoyed with that, you know, but I could tell Leticia was trying to keep it. I was just like, that Marcel is something serious. Leticia's like, I'm your spouse. I should be able to help you through these things, you know, so don't tell me to listen when I feel like I always listen to you. Maybe you ought to listen to your damn wife. And Kimmy come in and say, well, you know what, the depression, sometimes it is caused by your spouse. And Leticia was just like, really? And that's what I said about Kimmy and Maurice. Sometimes they do have slick shade. You know, they'll slide a zinger in. And, you know, then Leticia was just like, I thought that we was working on something. And now you gonna say that I'm the reason why the nigga's depressed. So anyways, we going through this conversation. It's clear that Marcel has made up his mind. Okay, he don't even really want to talk about this depression thing any longer. Of course, we've heard about the Scotts and how they grew up poor. You know, didn't have any money. So both Maurice and Marcel have this thing where they have to succeed at all costs. They're always going. And like Kimmy said earlier, you know, the wives are the ones that suffer. So right now, they both know about this eagerness to achieve at any cost. Right now, it might be the cost of Marcel's family. Marcel said, let him get to the end of this and see if he's still depressed, then he'll deal with it then. Ain't no end in sight, y'all. Now, let's jump over to this conversation that Marcel and Melody have you know, at lunch. Marcel tells us that he wants to have a conversation with Mel, you know, because he wants to have the kids full time. So Mel walks in. He was just like, hey, Mel, how you doing? Did you want something to drink?
No, Marcel, thank you. No, I'm fasting today.
He was like fasting on everything. And she was just like,
fasting.
So we ain't even about to eat. This ain't nothing that we about. Tell me what the hell I'm here for so I can go.
So you wanted to talk to me because you had some things on your mind?
And he was just like, yeah, every time we get together, I just don't want it to be an argument.
Well, Marcel, why do you think that we got into it twice? Why do you think we got into it twice in 24 hours in Vegas?
Well, Mel, you know how to push my buttons and I know how to push yours.
I don't think so. I think that if we knew it and understood it and respected it, we wouldn't be going through this.
Well, Mel, you know, sometimes people have their ups and downs. They go through things and everything.
Yes, people do go through ups and downs, but you had a big down,
And I apologize.
Oh, Lord, can you throw them apologies in the river of no more? Because I have heard it so many times. I mean, you know how many years I done heard them?
Well, I wish that you would apologize. You never apologized, but one time in our 12 years together, and you did way more than I did.
Oh, I never did so much more than you.
Girl, stop it. Stop it.
Name it. Name it.
Every time you left the house and you left for a day and you said that you was at a hotel.
Don't no woman just up and leave. We barely celebrated our first anniversary because the way that you talked to me and disrespected me. You disrespected me the whole time with your attitude. Let's be 100.
And he was just like, oh, you disrespected me publicly. And I said, no, this Negro did not just say that. She was like, fool, you disrespected me the worst way.
Too bad you didn't care enough about your public opinion to keep your penis in our household.
And he was just like, okay, stop. Let's just talk about the kids.
What is it that you want?
You know that I want our kids to be raised by their parents, by you, and you got like 10 babysitters.
I do not have 10 babysitters.
Okay, Mel, well, like 4 or 5.
I got 2.
So then we go through this whole conversation about how Marcel twist the facts. We always know that Marcel puts 20 on 10 when it tries to benefit him. He says that, you know, because he deals in facts. So he pulls out his phone and he's trying to keep track of her and when she had the kids and when the kids was at a babysitter's. He said, you had 3 babysitters one time in one day. And she was just like, yeah, well, first, okay, yes, I did. Evidently, she had the kids being watched one day because she had some shit that she had to do. His cousin was one of the ones that babysat. She was just like, your cousin is not a damn babysitter. He said, but that's 3. You had 3. You said 2. So then she's telling him that, okay, you didn't pick up the kids when you were supposed to. It threw the schedule off, you know. So then we start going back and forth on whether or not Marcel was there to pick up the kids when he was supposed to. Now, he gonna tell her about how she had these kids being watched by all these different people, but he gonna conveniently leave out how he not sticking to, I guess, the visitation plans and not picking up the kids when he's supposed to. Okay, make it look like Mel is the one that's doing all of this. Really, in reality, this is a stupid argument because if you guys were together and you know, you guys would still be very busy. You would still have babysitters, okay? There are times when you are going to be out away and you can let your kids be watched by somebody else that you trust. There's nothing, absolutely nothing wrong with that. So when you see parents going through this, this is all totally just because the parents are in their feelings, or not totally, but most of the time because you using 1 or 2 instances and you trying to make it seem like I'm just leaving these kids all over the damn place. Mel was just like,
if Marcel was a different kind of person, then I would not have any problem him being the first person I contact to watch the kids.
But instead, Marcel uses these kind of situations to make her look bad, lying about what she's doing and making it. It's just a control mechanism as far as Mel is concerned.
While you keeping your track, see, this is what I mean about you talking about moving forward. We went to Atlanta. I went down there to visit my aunt. My cousin had just had his baby. Then I had to go to Atlanta for a speaking engagement.
So you left him with your auntie?
With my mother.
And did your brother Marcus watch him? Because they told me that Marcus watched them.
Are you ready for me to finish? Are you ready for me to finish? Because every time I talk, you cut me off. I was quiet when you was talking.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Then we went. See, this is what I'm talking about. You talking about us moving forward while you keeping track. I don't agree with it because...
No, I gotta have facts, Mel. I gotta have facts. I gotta have facts. She was just like, nigga, you was really trying to take me there in this restaurant and I'm not trying to do it today.
So let me get the facts for you because yours aren't accurate. And really, they're inappropriate. But I had a speaking engagement in Atlanta. We had a wonderful time. My brother Marcus watched him for like 3 hours because I had an event also in Atlanta. My brother watched the kids for 3 hours. So what? So what? So what?
So you left the kids there?
Yes, for one night. So that's what I'm talking about. You talking about I'm leaving the kids all over the place is not true. And I'm kind of over you saying it.
So Marcel is still being like, oh, no, I see you. So you leaving them over there, you leaving them over there, you know. Just this one night. Like I said, it's not that big of a deal, Marcel, and you probably would not win that fight in court. So Mel is just like, that's why I'm saying that your moving forward is bullshit, because every time we think that we own something, then you bring some bullshit up like this, trying to make it seem like I'm leaving these kids everywhere. And he was just like, no, see, because I need facts. I need facts.
You know what, Marcel, do what you do. Do what you do, because I'm not going to have too many more of these conversations. I'm not.
Well, why you mad? Because I'm dealing with facts? You dealing with facts? I deal with facts.
Because it's not facts. You're trying to bring up something that's inaccurate.
So Marcel was just like, I can make sure that my schedule, I can change my schedule to make sure that my kids are well taken care of. Listen, I understand people don't want to just anybody raising their kids. I mean, any parent should feel that way. But it's just, you're not making no sense, Marcel, and you know that that's not the case. So he's like, so if you're going to be that busy, just give them to me full time. When it comes to the kids, wherever you got to go, if you got to go to Georgia or something, contact me.
Marcel, if I want to have my kids with me, I'm going to have my kids with me. So if that means that I'm going to go to Georgia and I take them with me and I say, hey, Marcus, can you watch the kids for me for 3 hours? And then when I get back, we're going to all go swimming. Then that's what I am going to do. I don't have to get you to do nothing.
I'm just saying that you left for Georgia and I was in Alabama, and I was just like, Marcel, drop this. Okay, well then again, see, children. I continue to put the children first.
Oh, whatever, Marcel. You did not put these children first, whatever.
Well, I'm considering, since I had to get the children, I got the girl's hair done.
Oh, Marcel, whatever. I was planning to get their hair done. When you left, I was paying for everything because you didn't have any money. I was paying for their clothes, tuition, everything.
Oh, well, I have the money now. Okay. So now that the show's back on, Carlos gave him a check.
You know what, Marcel? Do what the judge ordered. Do what the judge ordered. Okay, and file a petition. File a petition or I will.
Okay, she walk off and give him the like, child, ain't nobody doing nothing with you no more. And she keep on going. And Marcel just puts his hands in his face in his hands like, oh my God, that didn't go well. Marcel needs to check himself. Okay. This is ridiculous. You mad because the kids was at the babysitter once or twice? And Marcel just be wrong. Loud and wrong, always. All right, you guys, I'm going to get off of here. Make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. The channel is itsrox, and everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. So I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Until next time, rock stars. Bye.